You natty? Question mark. It doesn't matter if you're not, bro, as long as you open up about it. So this is something that I get from quite a few people. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again surpassing all of my expectations, and we are now past 2,000 subscribers and actually almost to 3, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I did not think that we would have gotten this far, especially in the past couple weeks. It has just been going through the roof, and I love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. But what I have planned for us today is I basically just put up a couple of Q&A posts on my Instagram, and I'm just gonna be going through actually my Instagram and my Snapchat, and so I'm gonna be going through just all the different questions that I got asked and just try to answer a bunch of your questions, silly or not. All right, you guys, so for the first question, it's pretty basic. I think I've answered it in every single one of my Q&As, but I do get asked this a lot. How tall are you and how much do you weigh? So I am 6'1" and I currently weigh just around 195 pounds. All right, the next one is, what is your body fat percentage? So this one actually goes along pretty well with the last question, but right now I would say that my body fat percentage is somewhere around 12 to 13%. My abs are definitely still visible. I have a lot of vascularity, but I'm definitely not quite as lean as I was 2 months ago at the end of my cut, but I've definitely added a lot of lean muscle mass since then. How often and how long do you train? So I train 6 to 7 days a week. Sometimes I'll do a full off day, but most of the days I'm in the gym, even if it is an off day and I'm just hitting sort of lagging body parts, getting my body moving. And then how long do I train for? It's always around an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on which day it is and how much volume I have to get through. What are your opinions on supplements such as steel supplements? Honestly, I haven't looked into steel supplements a whole lot. I see their ads popping up pretty much everywhere. Steel supplements seems pretty good to me. I have a bunch of buddies that have tried out all of the free stuff that they've been shipping out. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm not a supplement connoisseur, but I always say that if you can avoid spending a ton of money on supplements, do that, because 99% of your gains come from proper training and proper nutrition. That extra 1% is probably going to come from supplements. Oh, and the next one actually flows right in with the last question, which is, which supplements do you use? I do have a separate video talking a lot more about this, but currently I use creatine, vitamin D, and there's one more. And just a simple multivitamin. Any advice on how to kickstart my YouTube channel? I started. So I definitely do have advice on this. I am still getting started. I am still in the very beginning stages of this, and I definitely don't claim to be an expert, but one of the biggest things that I would say is make sure you give out a lot of free information. When you're really, really small, about the most valuable thing that you can give to people is your time. So if you answer people's questions, answer people's DMs, try to invest time in them, they will in return invest time in you. So don't go around telling everybody, hey, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, and just nagging everyone all the time. Instead, look for people who are interested in knowing more things about fitness or whatever your YouTube is about in general, and then offering to give them free advice on that subject. And I'd say that's about the most valuable thing that you can be doing. How should I keep myself motivated with all of the gyms closed right now? So I've gotten this question a lot in the past couple months. And basically what I've been telling everybody is that you should be trying to make it so that when you get back into the gym after the gyms have all opened up, that you can get right back into the swing of things and that you're even in better shape than you were in when you left the gym. So if you can do certain body weight exercises, really just still work out very, very hard at home, still continue to take your weightlifting seriously, those things will transfer over when you go back into the gym. There are so many great things that can come from doing body weight exercises in your own house, like increased stability, increased coordination, and so many of those things are going to benefit you a lot more as soon as you get right back into the gym. So just really, really keep pressing and thinking, I want to be even better than I was when I left the gym, when I get back into the gym when they open up. How to get rid of the belly pooch. Yes, the belly pooch is something I'm very familiar with. I have it, and I used to be a lot worse, not so bad anymore. But to get rid of the belly pooch, you really have to just decrease your overall body fat percentage. And I know that's not something a lot of people want to hear, but you can't spot reduce that belly fat on your stomach. So you do have to get into a caloric deficit and lose fat slowly. And as your overall body fat decreases, you'll notice that that pooch goes away with time. Some tips on maybe trying to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, body recomp. So I've been having a lot of people asking me about this as well. Basically, the science is simple. So what body fat is your body is storing energy in the form of fat. So if you go into a very, very small caloric deficit or just sit at a caloric maintenance and send the proper signal to muscle build through proper training, your body will access that fat to use as energy to fuel the muscle building process while you are in a very, very small caloric deficit or eating at maintenance. So one thing that you just really have to be careful of is to eat in a very, very small caloric deficit if you are, and then if you're eating at maintenance or pretty much trying to do this at all, make sure your protein is extremely high so that you can maximize muscle protein synthesis and try to do both at the same time. It is definitely possible, but I always tell people that just because something is possible doesn't mean that it's optimal. So I recommend that you go into a bulk phase and try to put around 1 to 2 pounds on every single month, and in a cut phase, try to lose around 1 pound, give or take, a week. So that would probably be more optimal for building muscle and losing fat. If you want to do the two things at the same time, it is most definitely possible. Roughly how long does it take you to edit a YouTube video? That's a great question. Honestly, when I first started out, it was somewhere around like 2 to 3 hours. It wouldn't take very long, but since I'm really trying to put a lot more work into my YouTube videos, I hope you guys have noticed that the quality is slowly increasing. I hope it's getting better. Right now, it's sort of taking me around, I would say 6 to 8 hours to edit a YouTube video, just because I really like trying to get the cuts nice and cool and make it something that's really entertaining to watch. Who takes all of your pictures on Instagram? Most of the pictures that I take on my Instagram, I take myself, either with like a tripod or just like through a mirror or setting up my camera, you know, but my sister actually films a lot of my YouTube videos. Shout out to my sister. How do you get your shoulders to look so good? So recently, a lot of people have been paying a lot of attention to my shoulders because I post a lot of TikToks with me, you know, flexing and stuff like that. My shoulders are actually sort of a genetic weak point. They do have a ton of striations in them though, which is just genetic. My shoulders aren't actually that big, but they do look big, which is kind of nice. But how do you get shoulders? Just make sure you're training all of the different heads. So you're training the front head, the lateral head, and the rear delt, just to really complete the that full 3D delt look that you're trying to go for. Okay, so this one says, honestly now, you natty? Question mark. It doesn't matter if you're not, bro, as long as you open up about it. So this is something that I get from quite a few people, especially ever since I started my TikTok. There's just loads of people that come in and talk about or ask me if I'm natural, if I've used any performance enhancing drugs. I just have to say, I am completely natural. I get this question all the time, but I have not used anything. The only supplement that I even take is creatine, but Honestly, I would have no problem telling all of you guys if I ever ended up taking any sort of SARM or steroid or whatever along the lines of pretty much anything. I would have no problem coming out and telling that to you guys. What I want this channel to be based around is to show you guys what you can achieve when you stay natural, when you have a great training ethic, when you have optimized programming, when you have optimized nutrition, when you optimize everything you possibly can. I want to show you guys that you can create an overall awesome physique, and you guys don't need to rely on these steroids in order to get you where you want to go. And that is one of the main things that I want in my channel. If I ever decide to make the jump and go to not natty status, which would be to probably compete in some sort of bodybuilding show, which I could see doing in the future, but right now that just is not my goal. But if I ever did that, I would 100% let you guys know. The worst thing that I can imagine is giving somebody that's watching my channel an unrealistic body standard, or showing them something that could only be achieved with the use of drugs. And that's just not something that I want to do at all. I have no desire for it. So if I ever do, I will let you guys know. I am not thinking about it anytime in the next couple of years. It's just pretty much totally out of thought. I want to maximize my genetic potential before I did anything. I want to see how big that I can get with my personal genetics and create as awesome of a natural physique that I possibly can. John Skywalker or Jeff Side? Jeff Side. All right, you guys, so that is pretty much it for the questions. Thank you guys so much for participating. I definitely got way more questions with this series of Q&As than I have done with any ever, pretty much. So thank you guys so much for asking all those. If you are not, make sure to follow me on Instagram so that you can be around when the next Q&A comes up, because I do post them on there. So make sure to follow me on Instagram at Brandon_C_Clark. And please be sure to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Also subscribe, really helps the channel out. And I will see you guys all in the next video.